One custodian cleans a suite of offices in 3 hours. When a second worker is asked to join the regular custodian, the job takes only 2¼ hours. How long does it take the second worker to do the same job alone? So we want to find out their independent times, but we work them together as a system. And here's how I think about it. I think about the job that's done. Well, sorry, first of all, I think about who I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with a custodian. And then the other worker. And I might want to make space for the two of them together. I may or may not need that. Okay, and then there's the job that's being done. And more importantly, there's the portion that is done in 1 hour. So completed in 1 hour, the custodian, who normally takes 3 hours to do the entire job, and it's the same job for the custodian and the worker, they're going to now in 1 hour complete 1/3 of the job. So 1/3 of the job. Then the second worker normally takes 2¼ hours to do it, but if he's only working for 1 hour, he's going to get it done in 1 and 2¼ he's going to get done with 1 and 2¼ portion of the job. See, keep in mind, this is the, again, I already said it right here, but I'm going to highlight it. This is, whoa, excuse me. This is the portion of the job that's done. Let's see if I can. And we're talking about in 1 hour. That's pretty significant, because then that makes sense with what we're saying. If this was like a room I needed to vacuum, and I went to go vacuum it, and it normally takes 3 hours to get through the whole room vacuuming, then if I only work on it for an hour, if it normally takes 3 hours to do the whole thing, and I only work for an hour, I'm only going to get done with this much of the job. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that. If I'm going to work for 2¼ hours on this other one, then I'm only going to get done with, one, I'm going to get done with this much, 1 and 2¼ portion of the entire job, if I'm doing this all in 1 hour. That's the key. Okay, now together. Do I know how much it takes for them to do it together? No, that's not given. So that's where it starts to get tricky. I know that I'm gonna get done with some portion of the job in 1 hour when they're working together, but I don't know how much that is. Okay, now I'm looking for an equality. Actually, as I reread, I realize this changes everything. I said that the worker could do the job alone in 1 hour. He could get done with 1 2/4 worth of the work done right here. But really that time was how long it would take if you added the two together, if you worked the regular custodian and the worker at the same time. So when a second worker is asked to join the regular custodian, that means that I've got these mixed up. Together they get done with that much of the job in 1 hour, and he gets done with that much of the job in 1 hour. So let me start a new sheet here, and now I've got an equation. The custodian and the worker work together. When they work together, and I'm only measuring everything in terms of 1 hour's worth of work. So in 1 hour's time, they'll get done with 1 over And let me clean this up a little bit. 2 1/4 is the same thing as 9/4. So that's 1 over 9/4. But 1 divided by 9/4 is the same thing as 1 times 4/9. So let's just put 4/9. They'll get done with 4/9 of the work in 1 hour when they work together. So, imagine if it's a rectangle broken up into 9 equal parts. They would have gotten done with this much, less than half of the job in 1 hour. And that's a key feature here. But that's what we're using as the measure for everything else. So the custodian, and if that's what he could do alone, then we're really kind of figuring out what's the rate of the other worker. Because in 1 hour they end up going all the way out to here. So add the other worker in, which we don't know. Set that equal to how much got done in 1 hour, and I think that can do it for us. Use the multiplying both sides by the least common denominator strategy. The least common denominator here is 9x. Clean up. So what I'm getting is that x is 9, meaning 9 hours. So in 1 hour, that worker, if he had worked by himself or she had worked by herself, she would have gotten done with only 1/9. And that is about what this picture looked like, even when I was doing this junky picture right here. That looks about the same as 1/9. Hopefully that makes sense.